What's up, everybody? Zach Walker, the Bearded Realtor, here, checking in for the Mother's Day edition of the Bearded Ride and Rant. Wanted to touch base. First of all, happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. Special happy Mother's Day to my wife, Ashley Walker, the Bearded Queen. And just wanted to just check in for a minute. It's been too long since we've talked, but I read an article yesterday or day before that really got me to thinking. It said something along the lines, it was on Inman, it was something about how to prevent your client from connecting with an iBuyer. And it was talking specifically about how to protect your client from these instant offer opportunities. But the overall tone of the article was very much like how to prevent your client from connecting with a buyer on the internet, which to me is absolute insanity. 87.5% of people that buy a house buy it online. They find the house online, Realtor, Trulia, Zillow.com. And I'll tell you a very specific story, and it's not one that I like to admit or talk about because it includes a pretty big mistake that I made personally, right? And so we had a client, and when we entered their listing into the MLS, we overlooked or forgot to check the syndication module or button there on MLS. And so the problem with that means that the property did not syndicate to Zillow specifically. And so it sat for like 2 months. And this is real honest, real raw, right? So for 2 months, my client's house didn't sell. We'd shown it like 4 times, I think. And she called me and said, "Hey, I don't see it on Zillow." I'm like, "Well, that's funny. It should be on there. It automatically happens with the MLS." Well, we went on, obviously had found our mistake, added it to Zillow to make things right with my client. We continued the transaction for free, no charge to them whatsoever, because I told her straight up, I was like, I would fire me, so I wouldn't expect you to do anything less. But honestly, in 4 days, it showed 6 times and it was sold. And so I guess I just want to address the train of thought and the concept behind the internet and preventing your client from connecting with an iBuyer or whatever. If I've got a client, I'm going to do everything I can to sell their house for them. I don't care who to. I don't care if it's instant offer. I don't care if it's iBuyer. I don't care where they come from. I want the house to sell. And it just, again, I'm not an indictment on anybody specifically, but just the overall theme, the overall concept, the way that the internet is received. Folks, the internet is your best tool. The physical sign that goes in your yard means very little. Very little. But the digital sign, the sign that goes on the internet, that's where you're going to find 87.5% of your potential buyers. You realize that leaves 12.5% of the buyer pool to your traditional methods. You kidding me? Folks, we ought to be figuring out exactly how we can maximize our opportunity to sell on the internet. Again, not an indictment on anybody specifically or anything like that, but it is something that we have to address, and we have to be open and honest about. Like, at the end of the day, selling houses is drastically different than it ever has been in the past, and it's continuing to change. Redfin just came out and put out their new business model, which is gonna bypass a buyer's agent. We've got to figure out not how to prevent change from happening, but rather how to embrace, address, and maximize our potential to implement that change. You got to figure out how to be innovative. You got to figure out how to be different, how to stand out, how to be set apart, right? So again, I just want to check in with you guys. I know it's been a while. You can expect to see a whole lot more of me here pretty soon. If you need anything, obviously you know how to get a hold of me. 256-BUY-SELL. That's BUYSELL. Pretty clever. If you want to buy or sell in North Alabama, just call 256-BUY-SELL. But again, I'll check in with you guys later. Love you. Talk to you soon.